The Gabble and Other Stories by Neal Asher. Read by Ric Jerrom. 1. Softly spoke the Gabble duck. Lost in some perverse fantasy, Tamira lovingly inspected the displays of her optech rifle. For me, what happened next proceeded with the unstoppable nightmare slowness of an accident. She brought the butt of the rifle up to her shoulder, took careful aim, and squeezed off a single shot. One of the sheck slammed back against a rock face, then tumbled down through vegetation to land in the white water of a stream. Some creatures seem to attain the status of myth, even though proven to be little different from other, apparently prosaic species. On Earth, the lion contends with the unicorn, the wise old elephant never forgets, and gentle whales sing haunting ballads in the deep. It stems from anthropomorphism, is fed by both truth and lies, and over time firmly embeds itself in human culture. On Myril, where I had spent the last 10 years, only a little of such status attached to the largest autochthon. Not surprising for a creature whose name is a contraction of shit-eating quadruped. But rumours of something else in the wilderness, something that had no right to be there, had really set the myth engines of the human mind into motion, and brought hunters to this world. There was no sign of any sheck on the way out over the narrow vegetation-cloaked mounts. They only put in an appearance after I finally moored my blimp to a peak above a horizontal slab on which blister tents could be pitched. My passengers noticed straight away that the slab had been used many times before, and that my mooring was an iron ring long set into the rock. But then, campsites were a rarity amid the steep slopes, cliffs, and streams of this area. It wasn't a place that humans were built for. Sheck country. Soon after he disembarked, Tholen went over to the edge to try out one of his disposable vidcams. The cam itself was about the size of his forefinger, and he was pointing it out over the terrain while inspecting a palm-com he held in his other hand. He had unloaded a whole case of these cams, which he intended to position in likely locations, or dangle into mist pockets on a line, a hunter's additional eyes. He called me over. Tamira and Anders followed. "Nah!" He nodded downwards. A 7 of sheck was making its way across the impossible terrain, finding handholds amid the lush vertical vegetation and travelling with the assurance of spiders on a wall. They were disconcertingly simian, about the size of a man, and quadruped, each limb jointed like a human arm, but ending in hands bearing 8 long, prehensile fingers. Their heads, though, were anything but simian, being small, insectile, like the head of a mosquito, but with 2 wide, trumpet-like probosces. "They won't be a problem, will they?" Tholen's sister Tamira asked. She was the most xenophobic, I'd decided, but then such phobia made little difference to their sport, the aliens they sought out usually being the "I'm going to chew off the top of your head and suck out your brains" variety. "No, so long as we leave them alone," said Tholen. Using his thumb on the side controls of his palm-com, he increased the camera's magnification, switching it to infrared, then ultrasound imaging. "I didn't load anything," said Anders, Tholen's PA. "Are they herbivores?" "Omnivores," I told her. "They eat some of that vegetation you see, and supplement their diet with rock conch and octopole." "Rock conch and octopole, indeed," said Anders. I pointed to the conch-like mollusks
Sample complete. Ready to continue?